Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today we've got the 2023 Honda HRV. This is going to be the LX trim level. So if this is what you're looking for, well, this platinum white with black interior is going to be the perfect video for you. And even if it's not, at least you can get a good view of what this vehicle is all about, what has changed, and I'm going to tell you all about that. And I think that Honda has done a really good job here. Even in some areas where you might say, oh, that wasn't quite what I was hoping for, but that's okay. So we'll take a quick look at the front end. Obviously, everything fully redesigned. It's not just a refresh. That's the good news here. So fully redesigned for 2022. It's a little bit closer to being the size of the CRV, but here's the thing. The overall wheelbase has increased by 1.7 inches. You say, what's wheelbase? That's the center of one tire to the center of the other. The overall length from literally bumper to bumper has increased by 9.4 inches. But the good news for those of you who are saying, I really don't want a bigger HRV, well, the interior hasn't really changed that much size-wise. The interior has changed a lot, but size-wise, it hasn't really changed much at all. We'll take a look at that a little bit closer in just a bit. So you're gonna have your LED headlights. You're gonna have the nice, kind of an L shape almost of sorts, or really, if you look at it just the right way, it kind of looks like a J laying on its side, I guess. Turn signal indicator right there. I'm gonna show you how to use that since this model has the turn signal indicator option that I know a lot of you can't afford on your vehicles. Okay, just being sarcastic there, but you don't use it, so you should. Honda sensing, that's gonna be right up here. That's going to be your road departure, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, all those great features. That's going to be here. 215/60 size tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels. And the 60 is going to be the series of the sidewall right here. This is the sidewall. That's going to help to improve ride quality. We'll get out and do a test drive in just a little while. I'll tell you all about that. And here is what the remote is going to look like for 2022. If that looks familiar, well, it should, because it's obviously based on the platform of the 11th generation or 2022 Honda Civic. Now, for those of you who might say, oh man, I don't see remote start, keep in mind, this is the LX trim level. If you go to the sport trim level, you are going to find remote start. So it is there, it is an available option. LED taillights as well, just like those LED headlights we saw on the front. The shark fin antenna, very nice finish off right here with the roof spoiler. And let's talk about some of the main things you're gonna wanna know about starting with what's under the hood. All right, let's talk about the differences. From 141 horsepower, now we've got the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder making 158 horsepower. And that might not seem like a big difference, but the way this engine is tuned, it really does seem like it's making more than 158 horsepower. We'll give you a better demonstration and talk about that when we get out on the road for our test drive. 138 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a CVT, continuously variable transmission, the single speed. But again, don't be disappointed about that. You might have said, man, we were hoping for maybe just a regular automatic transmission. I was really impressed in what little I've done so far with this model as far as how that CVT performs. Now, the important thing here, MPGs, 26 miles per gallon city, 32 out on the highway, 28 combined. And according to Honda, for every 100 miles you drive, you should use 3.6 gallons of gas. And by the way, this model is front-wheel drive, but you can upgrade to all-wheel drive. It's a $1,500 upgrade, but just so you know what's there, well, there are your options. So let's open the rear hatch here. Here are the cargo specs, 24 cubic feet on the low end. Now, let's go right here, and we'll lower these seats, and I'll tell you what you get with max cargo capacity. It's gonna be 55 cubic feet, so not a massive difference between 2021 and 2023, or 2022 and 2023, I should say. Now, there is one change here. Tell me what you think about this, guys. The magic folding seats, these magic rear seats, are no longer here, so you can't fold these seat cushions up anymore and basically have additional storage where if you had a really tall item that maybe was going to come up like this and you wanted to stand it up straight instead of laying it on its side, well, that option is gone. Tell me what you think about that. Do you like it? Do you not? I'm always curious to know. You're going to find a 12-volt power outlet right here, cargo lighting here in the rear area, and you're still going to have some storage space under the floor, as you can see right here, and as you can see right there, basically all I did was just push the floor up. It's really made to sit between the areas right here. It's kind of recessed out here, but it starts to narrow as you get closer to the seat, and you push it up against the seat, and that will get out of your way so that you can move the tray right here out of the way. In case you were wondering, is it going to be a tire repair kit? Nope, it is a spare tire that you are going to find. Here is the size of your door bins. You could put a nice blender bottle of protein powder in there if you're going to take your HRV to the gym and work out with your friends. It is possible. People drive these to the gym. Don't say anything about that. And something else we'll find right here, a nice little spot to put your cell phone if you want to. And then we really don't have much back here. We'll show you what you can find on other models as we get higher trim levels. You still have just the single map pocket on the rear of the seat here on the passenger side, as opposed to having one on both sides. Again, tell me what you think about that down in the comments section. And something else I wanted to show is the pattern here on these seats. These are cloth seats, but obviously still going to get the job done. Actually very comfortable seating, by the way, but just to show you a good look at that pattern that's in the seats themselves. Now, just a little word of caution. You may already be aware of this, you may not. Let's say you buy your brand new 2023 HRV and you decide to check out the back seat, but you're out alone, nobody around to help you out. Make sure before you hop in back here by yourself that you check on one door at least, whether it's here on the driver's side or over there on the passenger side. Check this button right here. Make sure it's in the up position, because when it's down like that, the child safety locks are active. When it's in the up position, they are not. Just so you know, that's pretty handy. Really avoid some frustration that way. So here we go. We're going to have the adjustments for the power side view mirrors here on the door panel. Everything else here, I think you pretty much have an idea of what all is there. And a little bit larger door bin on the driver and passenger sides. Here you do have a fully adjustable tilt and telescopic steering wheel. You drop that lever right there, and there you go. So let's hop inside. Hopefully my lapel mic did a good job of picking that up, just so you know what it sounds like when you hop in. So obviously it's going to look, well, a lot like the Honda Civic when you look in here. The dashboard the same, the air conditioning vents pretty much the same, as you can see right there. But I think it's all for the better. So there's a look at the instrument cluster. You're going to have your steering wheel mounted controls here, just giving you a good overall look. And then obviously everything here for the blinker option. It is here on the vehicle, so you can push that into the up position or into the down position depending on which direction you're turning, and it lets people around you know what you're doing. That's pretty novel, isn't it? They actually spec'd that into this particular model, went all the way with it. The multi-view rear camera is going to be here. Nothing we haven't seen on Hondas before, but we are seeing it now on the HRV. Now here's the thing, this is the standard 7-inch screen, but you can step up to the 9-inch screen if you want to. And just looking down here, you've got your climate control, and here's something that has definitely changed. Notice where my water bottle is sitting, you no longer have those kind of interesting to use bottle holders that used to be in this area, so that's good. No push button shifter. I know a lot of you are not fans of the push button shifters. You don't have that here. That's always a good thing. There's one USB port, and then right down here you're going to have another. In fact, you have a pass-through right here, just a small one, but let me get out and see if I can show that to you, give you a better shot of that so you can see. Yep, there's the pass-through. USB right here, and another on the other side, kind of an hourglass shape here, as you can see from here, and then it kind of tapers down and then gets a little bit wider right there when you get back to the center console area. And here is something else that is different. Here is your driving mode selector, and check this out. If you haven't seen it before, here's what's going to happen when you change your modes. We're going to go in econ mode right there. You can see what comes up on the dash. Some very nice graphics. We'll go to normal, show you what's there, and then we will drive in all of these. You've got snow mode. Now, if you're going to have snow in the area where you live quite a bit, you're probably going to want to have all-wheel drive. Now, I did want to show you your hill descent control here. So here's what happens. under 12 miles per hour, this will work. And at whatever speed you are accelerating at that point is where the vehicle will stay. But you can use the brake or the gas pedal to adjust accordingly. And you can disengage by either pushing the button again, or when the vehicle reaches 37 miles per hour, it will automatically disengage at that point. Your power parking brake and then brake hold mode. If you're not familiar with brake hold mode, that's just going to hold the vehicle in place when you take your foot off the brake after you've come to a complete stop. Very helpful in maybe stop and go traffic. And a little bit larger console here, comfortable lid. It's not something you move back and forth. But let's take a look at how much space you have down in there. There is quite a bit of space you can see down in here. Put my hand down in there. That's going to be nice and useful. But you know, the main thing I want to talk about and show you is the test drive. Let's get out on the road and we'll see exactly what that experience is like. All right, now that we're out on the road for our test drive, what are my impressions? We'll find an improved ride quality. There is independent rear suspension that's now going to help out with that. Better ride quality, and honestly, you know, it's not quite like the Civic, but I really wondered, being that this is based on the Civic platform, are we going to have the great handling characteristic that the 11th generation of the Civic brought to the experience of driving the car? Well, it doesn't feel stuck to the road like the Civic does, but then again, this isn't quite the same vehicle with the same purpose. But I can tell you that I definitely notice a difference. It feels more tight, if that makes sense. What I basically mean is it feels far more responsive. It feels better planted to the road. Not quite like the Civic, so I'm not comparing those as apples to apples in that respect, but it is definitely improved. And while I can't really demonstrate it at the moment, we'll get down the road where we can do it here shortly. The tuning map for this particular engine combination, like I said, you're only making 17 more horsepower than you were previously. So 141 up to 158. But when you drop the hammer, it does a pretty good job of getting down the road without a problem. And it actually maintains that high RPM. If you're driving in sport mode, then it's going to kind of mimic that transmission shifting experience, even though you obviously just have a single speed CVT here. But one thing I want to do is get up the road here just a little bit and see what we can do to give you a real world example of what it's like with the road noise. We're heading up to just the right place. We're going to stay in the right hand lane, and the asphalt here is about to end. Let's take a listen. Going to have to change lanes real quick here because of the slower moving truck, but let you listen. That's an improvement as well. The road noise actually has decreased from what I remember previously with the 2022 and earlier models of the HRV. So I have to say, I'm really impressed with what Honda has done here. It doesn't feel really any larger in my particular opinion. Now, I hadn't driven the 22 model in quite a while, or the older generation, we'll say, the previous generation, but I will say that I can definitely tell a difference in the handling. There seems to be less road noise, and obviously with a little more horsepower and that really kind of upgraded CVT transmission. Let's see if we can get by this truck here without any problems. People like to drive under the speed limit on this road for some unknown reason. We're actually just now getting up to the speed limit, but that's kind of good because now I can give you a better idea on the road noise. Let you listen again. Now keep in mind, I'm in here all by myself, don't have the air conditioner blasting or the radio turned on, so you're going to pick up on more of the road noise anyway. Don't let that deter you. I always say, as much as we try to convey our experience in the automotive journalist world here on YouTube, when it comes to the test drive, it's a little deceptive in a way because we can tell you about it, but that's one thing. Until you experience it for yourself, it's another. I definitely encourage you to get out to your local Honda dealership and drive one of these new HRVs. I think you're going to be very impressed, especially if you're stepping out of an older model. What else can I say here? Well, I like the feel of the brake pedal. I'm coming to a slowing down here, not coming to a stop, but slowing down here to make my turn onto this road we're turning onto. The brake pedal is not overly aggressive. It doesn't feel mushy. It really has a very nice balance to it. Now, obviously, I'm the only person in the vehicle, so it's a little bit hard to say what it would be like if I had more people in the vehicle, maybe a little bit of cargo back there in the cargo area. I'm not going to say towing a trailer because I don't know that anyone's going to tow anything with an HRV, but maybe you have. You can tell me about that down in the comments section, what your experience has been like. But overall, steering very responsive. I like the way the new infotainment screen looks. You do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can plug in your favorite GPS app there, so that's good. Very easy to see because of its new position, being kind of a floating touch screen. That's better than that inset, so there's two advantages there. It's easier to look at it and still keep your eyes on the road because of its position, and also avoid glare because you don't have that angle that tends to really attract that glare from the sun. So some really big improvements there. Overall, you have to give high marks. Honda has done a really solid job here with this fully redesigned HRV. All right, guys, so tell me down in the comments, what are your thoughts on the 2023 Honda HRV? Do you like it? Do you not? Tell me why. Tell me why you gave the answer you did, whether you like it, whether you don't, or what you wish had maybe stayed the same, what you wish had changed beyond what has changed. Just curious to get your feedback. You never know what Honda might do in the future when they see what you have to say. Gotta say a special thanks to my friends here at Hond Honda here in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning me this HRV for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.